Hey, Carl here for Homemade Strength, and today I'm making a deadlift platform. This is going to be a little bit different than the normal platforms, which can be 8 foot by 8 foot, or the half size 4 foot by 8 foot that people usually do for deadlifts. I can't fit that in my workout area, and at 150 to 300 pounds, depending on how big you make it, that's a little too large to be moving around to try to store it when not in use. So I'm making a smaller, lighter, 3-piece design. You're going to be able to move it when you're not using it. No problems there. It's super cheap as well. It's going to cost $15 to $20. First, all I'm starting with is this is a 3/4 inch thick piece of oriented strand board. You could use plywood. OSB is a little bit cheaper and will get the job done just the same. This is 3 feet wide by 4 feet long. So you can basically fit that in your car even if you don't have a truck. So that's that. That cost about, I think this cost me $5.50. I got that at Menards, which is, I believe it's only in the Midwest, but it's similar to a Lowe's or Home Depot. So that's the wood, just a single piece, 3/4 inch thick. I also have 2 of these patio pavers, rubber pavers. These are about 3/4 inch thick as well. These are 16 inches on both sides. Those are a little more expensive. Those are like $4 per paver. But since I only need 2 of them for this design, not too bad. So $8 on the pavers, $6 on the OSB plywood. And that's basically the cost. If you want to glue the pavers down, then something like liquid nails would work well for that. So a couple more bucks for that. If not, you could just have them sitting on top, I guess, to save a little money. So $15 to $20 is the cost on that. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to measure out a 16 by 16 inch square on this wood. Size of my paver. I will mark that. Then of course I'll come over, mark it again. So I'm going to cut out 2 pieces of the wood, 16 by 16 inches. Then down here at the end, because this is 4 feet wide, this will fit 3 of these perfectly along the length. So down the end, I'm going to cut all the way down 16 inches from the end. I'm not going to cut out the square, I'm just going to cut it all the way down. So it's going to be 16 inches across by 3 feet down. So I will have marked that and have one piece 3 feet by 16 inches. And then I will have 2 more that are 16 by 16 inch squares. And then the other scrap I will show you what I do with later. So I'm going to utilize all of this for maximum efficiency here to save as much money as possible. Alright, so I have the whole thing finished. I misspoke earlier. My plywood started off, it was actually 2 feet wide by 4 feet long. I think I said it was 4 long by 3 wide. It's only 2 wide by 4 long, okay? Disregard what I said earlier. So I cut out the 2 squares, 16 inches each. And the way this worked out is that was the whole piece of plywood. So I basically cut it down into 3 equal pieces, 16 inches wide each. I kept one the whole full 2 feet long, and then this little extra piece I had here is what I used for the back of this to double this up. So these 2 extras were the remaining pieces up there. It didn't cover the whole thing. It doesn't really matter too much because my deadlift stance is actually, it's actually wider out here. So it's definitely not this narrow, but just to cover that, I didn't have any more 3/4 inch plywood, of course, so I just had these 1 by 6s, which were 3/4 inches thick, so that's what I used for there. But again, my stance is out here anyway, so not a huge deal, but I just used scrap, used what I had. I glued it, wood glue, and put screws, 4 screws on each side, and then 2 more for the ones in the center there. So that's this board, so that's double thick. It has to be double thick because these are single thick, but they have the 3/4 inch rubber that's going on them. So that makes, this is where you stand, and then these go on the sides where the weights will be. And I will show you that in action just a minute here. If you want to secure these down, I would suggest something like liquid nails, which is just a construction adhesive, basically sticks to almost anything except a couple kinds of plastic. But it will stick to rubber, it will stick to wood. It does come in a, you will need a caulk gun, caulking style gun to pump it. It comes in one of those tubes like caulk. But you don't necessarily need that, that's not going anywhere, but if you want to secure it down, I suggest liquid nails. I don't have any at the moment, so for now, I'm just leaving it like that. So here it is all set up. One thing I did notice with these rubber pavers, I flipped them over, so this is actually the back side of it. You can kind of see here this diamond lattice pattern. It likes to sit right in the middle of that, which is really nice because after every lift you return it down and it basically goes exactly back where it started. On the other side, there's different designs. This particular one is like a brickwork design, and it was wanting to, the groove was kind of off center, so it kept wanting to sit, you know, towards one side of it. So I just flipped them over. That's something to keep in mind. They do come in different patterns. They didn't have any flat ones at the store that I went to, so I'm not sure if they do come in flat rubber, but that's just something to keep in mind. And then of course you stand right there in the center, and I think this is going to work out well. Tomorrow's deadlift day, so I made this just in time. And again, the purpose of this project was to make it more portable, use less materials. That was the whole point of it. You can certainly make a full-size platform or a half platform if you have the room and you don't really want to move it around because it's going to be heavy as fuck. But I did not have the room really, and I wanted to be able to store it when not in use, and as you saw before, that's easily done. You can carry it all, and it's less than 30 pounds. If you wanted to make this even thicker, use even more plywood, you could do that. You could use thinner plywood and do more layers if you want to. That's all up to you, but this was about the absolute cheapest way I could think to make it. Because I wasn't even going to do it until I realized that, you know, for 15 bucks I could put this together. And when I'm not using it, I guess I'll throw it over there in the whole pile of stuff. Just add to that pile there. But that's it. Hopefully this helps you, gives you an idea. If you don't have room for a deadlift platform, obviously this is only for deadlifts. This is not for Olympic lifts. But when you're doing heavy deadlifts, you don't want to slam them down on the ground. So, good solution here. Any questions or comments, leave a comment on the blog. If you're watching this on YouTube, check out the blog homemadestrength.com. deadliftblogspot.com. Link in the description. That's my main site where I do all this stuff. So thanks for watching.